All right, let's talk schooling a little bit. And this segment, I'm really going to just try to focus on wrapping up kind of my education in Springfield and kind of what led me to Syracuse as my choice for college. So, what you're looking at here is a really unique building. I don't know if you can see these sort of round pillar structures, all concrete, skylight. This at the time was called New North Community School, and it's I guess since been renamed German Jarena Community School. And it's right there on the railroad tracks, which is right there on the river, the Connecticut River. And then downtown is just sort of a hop and a skip and a jump over here. And keep in mind from the previous video, I was more or less living a little bit north. Actually, which direction are we heading here? Yeah, of there. So it wasn't my local school, and it wasn't a local school for anyone. This New North concept was I don't know exactly what the premise was, since this is fifth and sixth grade for me, after doing Montessori as a young person and then going to a small public school for first K through fourth. So I was chosen amongst other students from around the entire city to attend this school, and it was very unique. From what I remember, a lot of things were different about the way that the layout of this school was, and also how the teaching sort of stratagem was. In that, one, it was sort of I believe students that were a little sort of outside the main stream in terms of their attention, their focus, their passion, their drive, and maybe even how they relate to more traditional, sort of educational structures or school structures. So this was definitely an alternative school. In it, we had a huge natatorium and swim center, huge basketball court, gymnasium, I mean, massive. We had a planetarium that was sunken into the floor with a dome. We had a beautiful open air cafe, and inside, I couldn't find any interior photos, but inside was this really beautiful grand concrete architecture, almost like the inside of the Everson Museum, with sweeping staircases, wide open hallways, massive 25, 30-foot ceilings. And the way that the classroom structure, you see all this art, all this graffiti, essentially old, like this is early 80s, right? What would this be, 86, mid 80s? So I found this Facebook page of other students that went there. It was kind of short-lived as New North, I think, and then it took on a different, kind of personality. But, we were encouraged, you see, it's called pods. We were in C, so there's A, B, C, and D. So there's 4 pods per classroom, and the classrooms were huge, and the pods were how they subdivided English and reading from math and history and other activities. So the pods, you'd kind of rotate around throughout your day, to kind of take your classes. But there was also, very open framework where you could go to a teacher and say, hey, I feel like I still need some extra work in my reading comprehension, or I'd like to spend some extra time in the film newsroom or in music class, and they would find a way to work with you to make that happen. So a lot of times students were kind of like, I wouldn't say like freewheeling, but we're most definitely, kind of developing in many ways. Wow, field day. That was, yeah, everybody had a field day, but wow, what memories. We had this rubber floor in our gym, very concrete floors, but it was huge. And as you can see, very diverse student body. Kids from all over the city were brought together for this school. So anyhow, that was my ramp up, and I thought I was going to the one of the larger public schools. Central High School was being formed at the time, which is now, I think, the largest high school in Springfield. There's also a couple sort of cathedral and sort of more church-based private schools, and a few other public schools like a tech school, School of Commerce, and things like that. And so I just assumed, being a city kid, that I would be, going to one of those schools for junior high and high school. So again, this is getting closer to the city. You're not quite in the city yet. There's the city. So way out here, sort of in the middle of nowhere, is one of the oldest functioning schools in North America, as it pertains to the United States of America. And as you can see, well equipped, pretty much like a small college, massive fields. This is where the kind of like third team in JV practice and games were. Varsity, junior varsity, varsity, junior varsity, a huge campus, lots of walking, a babbling brook running through it, these really beautiful antique buildings. It's hard to see from Google Earth because you're kind of hovering above, but just acreage. And it basically was an all-boys school that merged with an all-girls school in like the late 1700s or something, or mid 1700s or something like that. So it's actually on this northern part of the campus right here. This is the oldest functioning, or it's this one here, sorry. This is the oldest functioning schoolhouse, I believe, in North America, like to this day. And so I'm going to pause this video and kind of lead Ben, but I just, I guess part of the dynamic at play here is, sort of working class, city kid from kind of a tough neighborhood, but living for all he's concerned, living a decent life, loving life, dealing with stuff, being all right. And all of a sudden my family kind of conspired to say, hey, look, there's an opportunity for you out here to use your artistic talents to get a full scholarship and attend this extremely expensive, elite private academy that I didn't even know existed. I didn't even know like stuff out here existed at all. It could have been Timbuktu for all it mattered for me. So they put me in a little suit and tie, and I went from New North alternative school with a Montessori upbringing to a very wealthy private academy. And we'll bounce to that next.